Our next speaker is Mayor Terry Nagel of Burlingame, and Terry also sits on the San Mateo County Transit Authority, which is in charge of the sales tax that the county collects for transportation. She's going to give us the perspective of a city that is downtown, is built around the train station, a historic train station, a beautiful train station. Terry.
Well, our city of Burlingame is not the only city that was built around the Caltrain station, and there are cities throughout both counties that depend on it for not only economic vitality, congestion relief, but also for the welfare of their citizens. And, this is part of the small town ambience of our city. It's part of the charm. It is one of the reasons that many of us move to our cities to begin with. The emphasis now is on transit-oriented development, which I'm sure you all understand, the latest component being the Sustainable Communities Strategy, which is going to put into action the Senate Bill 375 that links transportation with development in communities. So there are huge incentives for us to do transit-oriented development, and if we don't have the transit, we don't have the transit-oriented development. You can't have TOD without the T. So we are working in Burlingame specifically. We've just passed a new downtown-specific plan that has a very strong focus on having TOD in the downtown area. I know other cities have them as well or are in progress. To give you an idea of the economic value of a train station, back in May 2006, we paid a consultant to tell us what was the value of the Caltrain station generated in a half mile from the Burlingame Avenue station, and at that point it was worth $100 million more just because of the Caltrain station. The train, of course, is also essential for keeping our streets and highways uncongested. And I'm not just talking about 101 and 280. We all know that it takes a lot of traffic off our local streets as well and saves on the wear and tear on our roadways. When train service is cut, it has a huge impact on our residents. So I've personally talked to people who were affected when our Broadway station was closed, except on the weekends now, who have either lost their jobs because they couldn't get to them, had to move out of the area, and many others who changed from being loyal Caltrain riders, sometime for 20, 30 years, because now that the train doesn't come as often or doesn't come at all, they simply can't count on it to get to where they need to go on time. Along with other members of San Mateo County's Transportation Authority, we are working hard on transportation solutions. But what I think we need the most is for our cities to work together in both counties to create a network of a transportation plan that serves all of our needs, not just trying to figure out how can we make high-speed rail work on the peninsula, not just rescuing Caltrain in the short term, but also providing those east-west connections to all our communities to get people to transit. Because and we all pay into this system. I think you would be astounded to see how many millions of dollars your cities pay each year in the half-cent sales tax that goes toward transportation and congestion relief. We all should be benefiting from those payments. Now that the initial funding for high-speed rail has gone to the Central Valley, I think we have the gift of time to do transportation planning right. And we also are extremely focused on it. It's taken a few years for people to get this energetic about the issue, so let's take advantage of it. So we've spent millions of dollars studying the Grand Boulevard project, which is essentially El Camino Real. What about studying the Grand Rail Corridor project? I think we need to really focus our attention on that. And I'm convinced that we will not get major funding for major transportation projects until we all agree on what we want. And I take that from a recent meeting that some council members and I had with Anna Eschew and Jackie Spear, our two local congresswomen. They said basically that
the U.S. Department of Transportation in Washington is laughing at the peninsula because, hey, we have a train to nowhere connecting No Way to the Transbay Terminal that's also being built. And they said, all you cities do is bicker and fight among yourselves. Now, we have lots of areas of the country lining up for transportation funding who know exactly what they want. And you folks can't agree on what you want. Come back when you figured it out. So I got the very strong message that we need to work together to create a transportation plan on the peninsula that we can all advocate and consolidate our political power. Because, you know, we are between two very big gorillas, San Francisco and San Jose. And until we do consolidate our political power, I think we will be divided and conquered. Thank you.